Okay, we're live now. We are live now, and can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I don't know if you are trying to make an adjustment on your phone or something. Are you there? Your video is off and your sound is off.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Are you okay
Okay.
now? Your video is off again. Your sound is off. I think you are clicking on something. I think you are clicking on something.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Can you see me?
Yes, I can see you.
Okay.
Okay, so I've made some. All right.
Yes.
So how are you doing? How are you doing?
Fine. Fine.
All
Finally.
right. Finally, yeah. Okay, so we are live now, and because of our time, we are supposed to start by 7, but the network issue couldn't allow us to do that. We want to welcome everyone viewing. Sorry for starting late. Somehow
Yeah.
we had some network hitches, but we are here now. Okay, welcome Chinelo Keno. God bless you
Yeah.
for joining us today in our studio. We are
Yes.
glad to have you.
I'm excited to be here.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So we have Chinelo in studio now, and
Okay.
she's a professional counselor, of course, the brain behind Noble Woman Network and other teenage works outside there that Alisa, I think I've been in one of her meetings, and she's doing an amazing work with teenagers and doing mighty works. What I call amazing work is when you are doing a work that actually doesn't have a kind of financial payment on it, but passionately you are doing it, you are pushing it, even though there's no financial gain. I call that an amazing work, because in this time of life, a lot of people can't do so much without any
Uh,
physical gain per se, material gain. So, but here we have someone who has done an amazing work with teenagers. She has done an amazing work with women. And today we want to hear her story on how she moved her NGO from where it is today from where it was and to where it is today. We're going to hear some amazing stories. I'm seated here, glued on my chair, to get to hear this story. It's somebody I respect so much. I've had a couple of times to work with her, and I'm so glad to have her in the studio. Chinelo, you're welcome.
Thank
Can you
you
say
so
hi
much,
to our
sir.
viewers?
Hi,
Thank you.
everybody.
Thank you. Thank you for
Yes.
coming on board. Thank you for coming
Thank
on board.
you.
So, we just have to just kick off, and I have one or two things to ask you first. First, how did you just get into this career of yours? What inspired you? What's the story behind it?
My career or the NGO? Which one?
The
Okay.
NGO is your part of your, so maybe anywhere you want to start. Let us know how.
Okay. So for the NGO, the Noble Woman Network, how did it start? So I noticed as a young girl, so I was just within my late teen years. I was in my late teen years. Um, but I noticed that there were a lot of girls around the, the house. So kind of my brothers were into music. So they would gather together to have rehearsals, and we had a lot of girls, young teenage girls coming into the house, and they would just sit down. Sometimes they're watching TV for hours. And I'm wondering Okay, like, so why are we here? So sometimes I engage them in conversations, and I noticed that a lot of them did not have direction. They didn't know what they were going to do with their lives. Some were done with secondary school, even though I had just finished secondary school not too long ago. I had done like an NC program. I wanted to take direct entry into school. So uh, it bothered me. It bothered me that it's like they lacked a lot of guidance, and all of that. So in engaging them in conversations, I know some of them would say, "Oh, that made sense. What you said made a lot of sense." So they would invite their friends over, and I'll say it's okay. They'll say, "Can our friends come too?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, okay. So maybe we should start this kind of conversation." So I would say it came out of a burden that a lot of young ladies, teenage girls around me didn't have direction, didn't have anybody they could look up to, didn't have like a role model, didn't have anything. So for me, I'm like, if these people continue like this, they would make a lot of mistakes, and all of that. So that led me to begin to talk to them. So we gather in my dad's parlor, take up all of the space, and little by little we started to grow. And then we thought, okay, let's expand, let's have a program. So we started first with a retreat, and it was awesome. People were broken, testimonies came out of it. And even me, really, I wasn't sure what I was doing. It was just in my heart that I wanted to see lives changed. I just wanted them to have direction. I wanted them to have a purpose, to find purpose, and all of that. I didn't know that in doing that, I was fulfilling my own purpose myself. And so when
Fantastic.
it comes when it comes to counseling, as a career now professionally, how did I find myself in house? I've had several people ask me that, how come you are doing all of this? Hearing people's issues, helping them resolve it and all. How come you are doing all of this? So looking at my life, I knew I've always had people around me. I didn't know what career to call it. But I know that I was that person that wants to listen to people. I want to help them. I'm talking to them and they'll say, it's making sense. I can't remember the things I was saying as a teenager, whether it really made sense. So I really didn't know the name to give to that career until I listened to a counselor. So I went for a program and a counselor spoke. She introduced herself as a counselor. She said what she was doing as a counselor. And I said, oh, wow, that sounds like my career. That sounds like something I would love to do. And then I just fell in love with her courage, her personality. I said, this looks like me. And then I searched for the course. Then we used to have this hard copy jam brochures and all of that. So I
Yeah,
looked through
yeah.
it. I saw guidance and counseling. I said, yeah, there's a course like this in the university. This is what I want to do. I mean, did you really apply to do counseling? I said, yes, I applied to do counseling. So I applied and entering into the department, getting to learn a lot about human beings, human behavior, psychology, how to support people, the different theories. I just connected. It was like this is it. This is it. So that's
Wow,
the
wow,
story.
wow. Thank you, Chinelo. Is the amazing thing is that you are walking the lane that a lot of people wouldn't want to walk, even if they find out that is their passion, because it doesn't have somehow financial gain somehow.
Yeah.
Because majority of the people, the decisions we make these days has to be based on money. You know,
Yeah.
and I've been telling people, I said, if your decision is founded on money, that decision will not go far. That is why you have a lot of abandoned projects, personal
Mm,
projects, maybe whether it has to do with life or business or anything. If money is put first there before value, then
mm,
you are going to have a lot of issues. Okay, so for instance, you started this. Of course, you said even though you didn't know much of what you were doing, but you still went ahead to go and do what you love doing. It
yeah.
is very, very amazing. That point is very, very amazing, because you have to have something that can keep you going when you don't even have the clarity of what you want to do or what you are doing. But somehow you feel that in the journey you've already started, that this is what you love doing. All right, so that's amazing. Now let me ask you a follow-up question to what I just said now. What's, at that point you were not really sure of what you were doing, but you kept on doing that. What kept you? What moved you? What motivated you? What is it that just told you just keep trying it?
Okay.
Somebody has to be helped tonight. Somebody has to be helped. People who are already at the verge of giving up, they are confused. They don't know what is next. They feel like what they are doing is not making any sense. Okay, so what kept you moving?
Okay. The truth is, for one, the little the so it wasn't like, so I had people coming to say, oh, my life has been changed. Till
Mhm.
now, that's part of why I do what I do. So I have
Yes.
people say, oh, thank you for what you said, thank you for what you did, and I'm wondering, was it that much of a value? To
Yes.
sometimes I think about it, like, even when I'm saying it, sometimes I'm wondering, is it even making sense? But one of the things that kept me on this path is seeing lives changed. My drive, again, like you said, wasn't money. So I could put all of my resources into it. And I would just tell myself, even if it's just one life that is touched and changed,
Mm.
that would make a difference in the world, even if it's just one life. So that made me to keep going all of the way and making the sacrifice. And I still say it even to my team, even if it's just one person, even if it's one person. A lot of people sit and wait for a change to happen, the government to cause a change, leaders to cause a change. I believe we're all leaders. That's the truth. We have all been given an assignment to lead in our sphere. There are people that you can influence. So even if it's just one life, make a difference. So for me, the drive to make a difference, even if it's just one life, that kept pushing me. You can't give up. There's still just one more person that needs, to encounter this change. There's still one more person that you are giving hope to. So every day I wake up with the desire to give just one person, not a crowd. But then as
Mm.
you keep doing for one, as you keep touching one, the number is increasing. And before you know, you
Exactly.
have a lot of people, and people are wondering, where did all these people come from? It came from consistently reaching out to one person at a time. The truth is, once you touch one
Wow.
person, that person shares with other people, and that is it. If you put money before making a difference and touching lives, of course, there are many reasons you will give up along the way, because challenges will come. We've run a lot of big projects without money. That's the truth. And I've seen that sometimes you don't get all of the money you need, but you get resources. So you could get a free venue, you could get free
Yeah.
sound, you get
Yeah.
free. But if you think money is first, so usually when we have a project, I'm like, let's not think about money. Let's start it, start talking about it, start planning about it. So we sit and plan, start reaching out. So how much do we have? We have 10,000 and we have 5,000. Okay, that can create this number of flyers, maybe 200, 500. Okay, let's start with the flyer. Then, but we don't have money for venue. Don't worry, it's not venue. And we start talking to people. Oh, fantastic idea. Okay, you can come and use this place for free or for half the price or quarter the price and all that. Before you know, the whole event is done. And when we go back to look at, it's not like we had all of the money. And people are wondering, you help such a,
Yeah.
this is a big event. How? Is that we took a step, we started, and along the way, things just start falling into place.
Wow, thank you so much. There's something you said I like so much. You talked about the fact that consistency got you to where you are today. It makes a lot of sense to me. Despite the challenges, you were consistent, and I can guarantee you that that is actually the secret of going far. It's not about seeing the whole picture. It's just about being consistent with the little things you can do every day. There's something John Maxwell said. John Maxwell said that tomorrow is overrated. He said tomorrow is overrated, and that is why a lot of people don't look at today. They keep saying tomorrow, future, 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 my destiny, my destiny, my destiny, and they forget about the things, the breakdowns of today that eventually take you to where you are going to tomorrow. You know,
Yeah.
it makes a lot of sense to me. Can you do you think you have the freedom or the liberty to share maybe one story or two stories of someone got who was transformed by the things you are doing? You know, a real story that can shake the ground.
Okay.
I know you have
I
many of
wish,
them because I know
I
you've
wish,
been
yeah,
to a lot of them.
I wish they were here to share their own stories. So that it's not something
Yes.
like a story, you know. But one person, when I met her, was pregnant, or she had a child as a teenager, and was kind of devastating for her. She didn't know, you know, what next. She was all over the place, you know. And coming into contact with her, you know, and taking her through a process. So I usually will pull them close, you know, have meetings, share, ask for visions. Where she is today, you cannot imagine
Wow.
that she was that teenage girl. So she's married,
Wow.
she has kids, she runs her own ministry, you know, she's impacting other teenagers, teenage girls. In fact, sometimes I say, these people, you know, they've gone so far, I call them my bosses now. You know, it's interesting to see people metamorphosize, go
Yeah.
through a
Yeah.
process of change. You know, so she's
Yes.
one of,
Yes.
and she, the reason I'm sharing is because she can say it. If she was given the opportunity to share it on this platform, she will so happily say it. You see, oh, I came in contact with you, this lady when I knew nothing, and this is where I am now. You know, so she would. There are people I met that probably wouldn't have furthered their education, but because we do skill acquisition, we teach them how to also empower themselves financially as ladies. Whatever little finance you have, just keep pushing, taking the small steps. You know, sometimes we're looking for big things to happen. No, start, take little steps. A lot of the people that started with me have their masters. People are pushing sincerely. People have their, and I'm
Wow.
wondering, from where we
Wow.
started from. You know, they didn't just stop at degree level. Master, they tell you, we're pushing further, we're inspired, we're pushing.
Wow.
A lot of them also have their own ministries. So
Mm.
they have ways that they are impacting. On the counseling end, so I have met teenagers that probably were maybe addicted to pornography, addicted to drugs, you know, or going through one thing or the other, and then or depression, suicide. I've dealt with a lot of suicidal cases, you know, and then you hear somebody say one thing you said just changed everything. You know,
Wow.
right now they're in the university. Some of them
Wow.
still reach out as they're in the university, and I'm wondering, really, you know, and I'm grateful for that. So for me, it's inspiring to see somebody at one point and
Yeah.
then go through a process, and sometimes you cannot relate where they are to where they are coming from. You can't you can't relate. You can't relate it. You
Mm.
can't, you know, when you look when they look back, it's like this is a whole different person entirely. So that
Man, I will tell you, I'm very speechless. You know why? In this my life, I so much long and love to see people move from point A to point B. I will encourage you. Some of these people, you need to document their videos. You know, you need to document their videos. It's very important.
yeah,
I
we
tell
have a
you,
video. We have a video
yes.
online. I think it's on YouTube. Yes, where
Okay,
some share
okay.
it.
If it's possible, you can drop it on the comments and let people go and watch and see for themselves. Because one of the greatest thing to do, in fact, it will shock you that the greatest achievement you can ever make in life is the achievement of transforming a mind. It's not just a life. Changing a mind, giving a mind a new perspective, a new lifestyle, a new look, outlook, you know, helping somebody grab the meaning of his life. It is the greatest change you can ever make. I'm telling you. You know, when you were talking, I remember last week I met a guy who is doing so much now, and I was asking the guy. I said to him that, "Wow, I love what you are doing. I saw your Facebook live. I'm so glad you started. I'm so glad." And the guy said to me, you know what he said? The guy said to me, he looked at me, he said, "It is what you told me in your office that made me go to start that." I said, "What did I tell you?" He started narrating to me everything I said to him. He said that
Wow.
day he left my office, he told himself he can't go back. He said to me, he said, "Listen, sir," he said, "if you know how much people have sent to me all over the world to keep doing this my online thing and keep blessing lives, that he never knew that he had this potential." And I think that same night or so, the next night, I met a guy who told me that he's having issues with some things, and I spoke to him. I taught him how to stop limiting beliefs, how to stop. I think one of the shows we're going to have very soon will show on that, how to stop negative thoughts. And I told the guy how to stop it, how to kill it. And the guy sent me a chat today. He said that night it was like something just left him. That he got home and he practically got a tool on how to stop having limiting belief in his mind. Because I was telling him, I said, no matter how good you are in the things of God, sorry if you're not a person of faith, we have to bring in some of our languages. So I told him, no matter how good you are in the things of God, if what is in your mind is limiting, you definitely will be limited. And what you are doing is just lifting people from all those things. There are a lot of people who have been single mothers and they got grounded. Teenage mothers rather, they got grounded. They couldn't go to school, they couldn't get married. Of course, they got into different lifestyle and all that. But here we have a platform where people get into, and there's a hope deal that can grant the person the next thing. Okay, let me get back to you, Chinelo. What were the challenges you had you faced so far in this NGO? What are the things you think were so much a challenge that you thought is going to crush you starting this whole thing?
Challenge. Well, so maybe because I refuse to see them as challenges, I just say it's part of the process. But let me think of so dealing with issues within a team. I would say that's for me that's the greatest challenge because sometimes maybe expectations are high. You expect people to have grown to a certain level, and then you are hearing that there are issues. Sometimes as
Mm.
a leader, it 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 hurts me. I'm like, oh no, we are not. Are we still there? I've seen people, but I don't see it as a challenge anymore, right? Another challenge I had, when I say it's a challenge, was being able to delegate. So because I wanted things in a particular way, you know, transferring the responsibilities to others and watching it not go well, like or go as well as I would have wanted, for me was a challenge. So I had to allow people learn through the process to fail. So sometimes things didn't go the way I would have wanted or the way we planned it. But I learned to I won't say it's a challenge because for some people it was a growth process that was necessary. So they needed to learn to fail at it. But taking my eyes away from jumping into it, I would say it was a challenge for me to say, okay, just take a step back and allow whatever process and whatever is going to happen. It was a challenge. I don't want to say finance was a challenge because the truth is I have been awed by God. That's the truth. There are things that we started with nothing, and the team will tell you, and how everything came together. So if I say finance was a challenge, I don't think I'll be saying it the way it really is. Yes,
Mm.
we didn't have. In fact, there are many things we didn't have, but I have seen that people don't necessarily have to give you money, or money doesn't necessarily have to become the answer to meeting that.
Yeah.
In exchange for money, other services can come in that would take care of what you wanted money for. So I would say that. But personally, for me, the challenge I have faced most is allowing people grow. So sometimes the growth is not as fast as I would, and I'm hurt sometimes or disappointed when I'm not seeing certain things. So I
Yeah.
would say for me that is the challenge. Or having people that you have poured into, you have invested so much in, not give the results that you thought. It has hurt me. I've had people that maybe were pregnant once, and then you took them through a process, and then you hear they are pregnant again. You're like, what? What just happened? What happened to all of the process? It's heartbreaking for me. It makes me feel like you have failed. That's how I feel when I see those kind of stuff. I'm like, you failed. So the person made the same mistake twice. It cuts deep inside for me. I'll say that's one of the challenge. Working with people, help and seeing. And that's all.
I think
If I answered your
I think
question.
no, you made a very good point there. I think I'll bring out about 3 points you made. Number one is that first of all, what you have is a leader's heart. Every leader that loves people, if your leadership is based on love and if it's your social leadership, you are going to be touched when you are not seeing a kind of a significant improvement. You only learn to give more time because you just know that somehow, somewhere, is going to come back again and work out for good. So, and you also understand that not everyone you are trying to reach out to eventually turn out to become what you want the person to be. But then, the most important thing about what you said is the leader's heart, the love driven, the love. I'll use the love driven leadership. It is only love that can help you, that can make you see someone who you expect change from and it's not changing. You are feeling bad. You're not even blaming the person. You are not taking it on yourself to say, oh, I failed in this area. Of course, in real sense, you didn't fail, but then it's love that is making you do that. And that is what we are asking everyone there to be love driven. You're a leader, be love driven. Leadership is about people. It's about people, be love driven. Then the second thing you talked about is delegation. Of course, funny enough, there's a book I have here by Oswald Chambers. If you can find it, really, spiritual leadership it will help you. Now, this leadership, spiritual leadership, somebody would think is also only spiritual leadership. It actually deals with a lot of things. I think chapter 18 talked about delegation. There's a point he made here. He said to succeed in getting things done through others is the highest type of leadership. Is one of the biggest challenge we have in this side of the world. A lot of people have conquered delegation, but they've not conquered giving authority to the people they delegated the job to. That these are two different things. And you said it was a challenge. We also want to believe that you've been able to work through that. Somebody said you have to give people, delegate, give authority, and then let the blunder follow. Allow the blunder to follow. It's not easy to get there. It's not easy to just sit down and just watch blunder follow. You just want to sometimes you want to catch it at a point. Man, stop this thing, wire, do that. But then you just have to allow some process to follow, and that is amazing. That is amazing. I love what you said. I love that, and I love the transformation. Let me tell you, Chinelo, maybe just a kind of an encouragement. See, these things are working very well. There are some seeds you've sown in the lives of people that are not like those people that might come back pregnant again. You might think that something has not clicked. No, some people's transformation might occur after 15 years, 20 years. Maybe when they are married and they are now settled down, settled somewhere, and the stories of their encounters with you will start showing up and then kicks them into doing something they are supposed to do in life. Yeah, there are people like that. That is why I don't believe that anything like what we are doing online today, I don't believe that is falling on the ground. Somebody might pick up this video. Okay. Last Sunday, somebody met me. I had a show last two Thursdays. Somebody met me and said that program, if I know what it did in her life, is so amazing. You are just sitting down here sharing the story, and you don't know somebody is watching or will watch in the next 10 years, and you're like, man, ha, thank God I just heard something. It has happened to me where you heard something and it was an answer to what you've been asking all this while. An answer to what they've been asking. For instance, when you shared the story about the lady who was transformed from that point to getting married and all the rest, and she's now doing something worthwhile. And somebody's like, I've been trying on someone, it has not been working. And I maybe have to go back and try some more. Okay, now, so we'll go back to you now. So what do you do to these people whose change or their changes are not as quick as you expected? It is not immediate. It's not looking like it's going to come. It's very tough. How do you manage them?
So, in all honesty, before I was just abandon you, like not because of you, not like I throw you away, kind of, but because I'm still trying to deal with the pain of my own disappointment. So I'm like,
Yeah, yeah,
oh,
yeah,
I'm feeling too bad. Like, but I got to a point where I picked up the courage to, because they also are dealing with theirs, and for a lot of
yeah.
people, they're like, okay, I've disappointed everybody, I've disappointed her, bye, everybody, So I kind of started to try and muster the courage to go back again. So even though it's not easy, it broke my pride. My others like, oh, I could do it. It's like, okay, you failed, pick it up. So I kind of reach out again and try to pull. For not everybody responds. Some people are like, no, but for those that respond, I still, but some people are like, yeah, just too lax. You just accept everybody. But I keep them around too, so that they can still go through the process, again, and then I'm trying hard to model the love of the Father, that just because you failed several times doesn't mean that we should throw you away. But it's not a very easy process, because humanly I'm thinking in my head, after everything I did, see you, you know. So, but I try to keep them around, even though for most of them I don't give you responsibility. So I kind of don't try to, let me not say, don't over kind of trust you, or kind of, or something like that. I trust you with so
Mm.
much, but I allow you to still go through the process and say, okay, whenever you're ready, and all that. So I just keep you open and around to say, okay,
Yeah.
you can always still access me no matter where you've been. I want you to know that, yes, you made a mistake, made it again, it's okay. Just reach out if you have to. But the truth is, the kind of rigor, let me use the word, and responsibility I would usually give to the people around me, which I have seen is one of the fastest way to help people grow, is that you entrust them with. For most of them, I don't give them that. So maybe something I should be looking at again. But we're in the process,
Okay,
so our leadership is still emerging. Hmm.
but doing it for some time, like doing it the way you are doing it now, has it yielded any result for you?
I'm trying to remember a case that has been different. Yes, but not for so many. Not for, I won't say we have a lot of numbers. So I can't say. I met somebody recently, some weeks ago, and she said, "Ah," I'm like, yeah, you, like, she was too excited to see me. Do you understand? And this is somebody
Mm.
I would have written off to say. So I don't, honestly, so sometimes I can't tell. Again, I'm saying not just for me. Sometimes for such people they keep away. So I'm trying to pull their keeping away. I'm trying to pull their keeping away. But sometimes you lose the connection, and then I've seen them maybe a year later, 2 years later, and they're like, oh, I'm so excited, thank you, and all of that. So I would say, yes, like you said, it's a seed. I think maybe when they now calm down, they now reflect that this person has poured in. But I wouldn't say I have a lot of number for that. But for the few who have allowed that process, yes, they actually do get better, but are
Wow,
still going
wow,
through the
that's
process. Yes,
yeah,
but that's
yeah,
the reality.
yeah,
That's the truth.
Yeah, it's actually a hard work. Working on people, no, not easy. If you remember the story of the Bible, when God brought the Israelites out, you could imagine that 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 dealing with them for that number of years, and nothing changed. Nothing changed.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, nothing changed. He succeeded in just changing two people. It tells you how hard a human heart is. So is some once you are doing it and you are getting the challenge, it means you're on the right path. And of course, you are bound to meet those challenges that you are discussing now. You are bound to see them. You are bound to see them. And everyone watching there, you are bound to meet challenges with your team members, your employees, your sales department, everybody around you, your family members, everybody around you. It's not easy to just walk people over. It's something you have to understand as a leader. You just have to go and find the skills of managing people. I can recommend some books for anyone who cares to go and read. You can read book by John Maxwell on becoming. Few people communicate. Everyone communicates, but few people connect. And then of course you also have to read the book on developing the leader within 2.0. And of course, there are other books you can read on becoming the people's person. I think it was written by who now? And other books you can actually read to help you to start understanding the psychology of people. All right, the psychology of people in your family. You could see that your children are different. They are all different. You have 5 children, they are all different, and you have to deal with them uh, individually and in a different psychology mode. All of them can't come in the same mode. If you bring all of them in the same mode, you might break some and make some. Okay, so that is a very bad thing you can do. So it's very important to understand the concept of dealing with people and dealing with them in different mode, whether they are working in the same organization. There's a course they call diversity and inclusion. It's something someone can also go and check out on how to deal with people with different diversities, cultural diversities, environmental diversities, and then how do you bring them all together to work in a team, and still get the result that you want. It's very amazing, and I'm so glad that you're already making that. Of course, there are already some result, and that must be very encouraging, Chinelo, right? The results are encouraging, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yes, 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 yes. So, what are the events that you have coming up so soon?
Okay, so we're running a project which we are starting this month for teen pregnant moms. So that is kicking off.
Teen Pregnant Month.
Pregnant moms, yes, and already we have about 50 of them. So I'm wondering, 50
50,
teen pregnant,
50,
yes, yes,
50.
and more, yes, yes.
What do you want to do with them?
Okay, so we'll be giving them skills. So we're going to pass them through skill training. So this is what I think, or this is what we do, or how we run it. So we teach skills that they can use to start making money immediately, so that they are not staying for so long. Because part of the challenge is when they are not financially empowered. A lot of them, maybe go back, or do one thing or the other. And maybe that's why they even found themselves in that
Mm.
situation. So we empower with skills that they can use to start making money immediately, and encourage them. Like even after the first day of the training, you can begin to produce yourself. So we have skills like small chops, snacks, things like that, cupcakes and all of that, how to make zobo drink, how to make all of those sharp, sharp liquid soap, maybe hand sanitizer, things that you can start making money with immediately. You don't have to spend 6 months learning. I'm learning
Yeah.
tailoring for the next 6 months, before you now start making money from it. Or I'm learning hairdressing for the next 1 year, and you've not started making money from it. So we teach immediately. So it's still soft skills that they can start using to make money immediately. That's one part of the training. The second part of the
Okay.
training is the empowerment, the transformation part, the fully inspired and transformed ladies that we're building. So for the girls, we have fully inspired and transform young men, fully inspired and transform teenagers. So we sit them down and begin to discuss this type issues like a mentoring thing. So we have them in smaller groups. You're asking questions. You want to know what they are going through. You want to know, the challenges that they have. Ask them life questions. Pass them through a process of renewing their minds, kind of, so that they can see how much power they have. The truth is, a lot of people don't know how much they have on the inside. And if you're listening, whether as a teenager, a youth, a young person, a parent, you are so empowered. There is so much God has hidden inside of you. And a lot of people don't know it. As soon as people catch a glimpse of that or an understanding of what they have, something ignites in them. And that is what causes the change. That they get ignited and they are like, no, I can't remain here. So even if it's just one step, what do you want to do? I never have seen people say, okay, my parents couldn't afford to send me to school, but I can raise this amount of money, even if it's part-time. So I've seen a lot of people do part-time programs and they're sponsoring themselves. Literally, I've seen people sponsor themselves through school. It's amazing to see. But because something was ignited inside of them. The third part of the program is we have people come to share their real life experiences so that they can know that some people have gone through this, but they are out. So you hear them say, I used to struggle with some of this, or I experienced this, and I'm out of it. That for many people is like the
Is
deal.
it?
Yes, it just breaks, like, oh wow, I can come out
Yes.
of this, and then we lead them to know that God has a plan for their life. Nobody is an accident. You're not an accident. You have a purpose. If you can start taking steps, you will see how much God has destined for you. It just begins to unravel one step at a time. So that is what we were planning to do. We have people volunteering to be mentors. We have the ones where we are also, so because of the whole COVID-19 situation we found
Mm,
ourselves, a lot has
mm,
changed. Previously, we used to have maybe large gatherings and all of that,
yeah.
but the game has changed. So it's
Yeah.
not the large gathering. So we're looking at doing smaller groups, having seasoned mentors in smaller groups. But again, like I shared with a team of people, I've spoken to two different groups of people now. I've said that the greatest change I have seen, the changes I have seen in people's life, come in smaller groups. So we're looking at those small groups now. So we have people that would be speaking to people, and we have more people joining to say, okay, I would love to have a small group of people, to invest in. And as you invest in those people, which is what I have also seen, J in turn invest in other people. So it's not like people just sit down and not. After a while, Paul said the things that you have seen me do, teach to others so that they can also teach to others. So
Yeah.
for me, that's the step, the process. So you are watching them change. The truth is everybody has a sphere of influence, like I said before. They the people that we meet now, some of them their friends brought them, some of them their sisters brought them. Somebody brought them to say you need to be a part of it. So these people also would bring people in their sphere. And we hope not necessarily having this large gathering. But
Yeah,
we
yes.
will, yeah,
I think the good thing is that you did is that COVID brought change and you changed along. Some people have not changed even after COVID, even since COVID. And you saw the change, you flowed with it, and now you have a different strategy for what you still want to achieve. And of course, you also found out that the strategy you're about to use is of greater impact than what you already were doing before. The truth is that when you are in a crowd, you can you can't really come and discuss whatever issues you are going through, especially in this side of the world where we have a shame culture. We have a shame culture here, where people can't come and say I was an ex-harlot, I was this, I was that, except when the person has gone to, even when he has done a lot of things, people will say, when they want to talk about him, they say, don't you know that one that was a harlot before? You know, they will not want to know identify the person with his her name. They want to identify the person with what she was doing before. You know, that's the kind of thing we have here. You know, so but you flowed with the change, and that is very important. That is very
Yeah.
important, and I'm so glad. And I want to reach out to everyone there. In whichever way you can support Noble Woman Network, it is very important. When we say support now, I don't think we're asking you for money. We are saying support in the sense that you can reach out to her on our Facebook page and see how you can lend your voice, lend your time, lend your mentorship if you pass the criteria and all the rest of them, and get people out there. See how many people you can pull out as much as possible. How many teenagers you can help to get on their feet as much as possible. Every one of us in Nigeria here that grew up here will know how difficult it is to be a teenager in this country. You know, talk less of getting through university and getting out of university is not something that is bread and tea. You know, not just something that is common, but you made it, and it's time for you to start giving back to the society. You know,
Yeah.
start giving back to the people, start reaching out to people. So if you can't start an NGO, you can partner with one. That is how it works. You know, I don't have an NGO. For instance, I have an outreach I want to do in Borno State, and I've already spoken with the contact person. I had a meeting with him this evening, and I reached out to my friend who I have used her NGO to do one or two things before. I said, okay, your NGO is going to Meduguri for a project. And funny and good enough, she also had a program, and she was now telling me that we are going to merge her program together to see how we can make it bigger there. So you mustn't have one for you to now say, oh, I want to wait for one. When I get one, then I'll start. No, you can reach out to an NGO and then join an NGO and lend your voice and see what you can do with other NGOs. It's very important. Chinelo, thank you so much. Thank you
Thank
very much for coming on board. Thank you and
thank
thank you and thank you. I want to encourage you. You are a great leader. I'm telling you the
thank
truth. You are a great leader. You are very functional. You are active, and by every criteria of leadership, you are doing very well. Social leadership wise, you are doing very well. Love leadership, you are doing very well. I'm telling you, people's leadership, you are doing very well. I'm telling you, and of course, transformative leadership, you have it. It is the most amazing part of leadership to transform people, move them from point A to point B. It is so amazing. Not everyone does that. A lot of people are leaders of organizations, CEO of big companies, and they've not been able to transform their employees. Some of them don't even care that they don't even want to know that those guys are their responsibilities, and all the rest of it. And that is why they are having issues in their company because they are not taking this thing seriously. And now you are doing something you're not paid to do, and you are doing it well. It is amazing. I'm telling you, nobody should take that from you. It is amazing. It is amazing. Doing something that you're not paid to do and you are doing it well, doing it very well, you deserve some respect, So I encourage you, and like I always told you, I am right behind you all the way. Okay. So
thank you,
always
sir.
there, you can always reach out. You know how to get me, and we will get things done so fast. Thank you for joining this podcast, and thank you everyone who has been
Thank
with us
you.
since the inception. We love you. We want to let you know that every Thursday, 6 p.m., 7 p.m., we'll still bring you a fresh episode of the Leader Story and all the rest of them. And let me let you know that this year is a good year for us. You understand that? Let's all work out and work it out. We love you and thank you so much. We'll see you next Thursday, 7 p.m. If you have any question, any comment, whatever thing it is, please put it down in the comment section. We'll reach out to you. Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Chinelo,
you.
thank you.
Bye.
All
Thank you,
right.
sir. Thank you,
Bye. Bye.
everyone. Bye.